Hi, welcome to Manas Shil YouTube channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start the video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link it in the description box, or you can click here. Tensura Volume 20. Chapter 1. The First Battle. Gabil and Safia vs. Bita. Free had the upper hand from start to finish, but there were others who did not. Although the disparity was not as great as that of Phobio's group, Gabil, who had come as a reinforcement, was showing desperate resistance while being tossed around by the enemy. Gabil is not weak. He has gained new strength and has grown to be one of the strongest. However, his opponent was too strong. Insect General Beethoop was too much for Gabil. Gabil's existence value is 1.26 million, while Beethoop's is over 1.7 million. The difference in existence value is not a decisive difference in strength, but Beethoop's combat ability, such as physical ability, is directly related to its existence value in a high percentage. It is an insect-type Magin, Insector, specialized in close combat because it does not possess any special powers. It was the worst match with the all-powerful Gabil. If Gabil had been alone, he would have been defeated long ago. The only reason why he did not lose the battle was because he had a friend to fight with him. Gabil-san, are you okay? Yes. I am still alive and well. Rest assured, Safia Dono. Gabil and Safia, who had fought together against Midli, who had invaded Eurzania, were again teaming up against Beethoop. Safia was also the leader of the Flying Horsemen, but she left that role to her subordinates. This time it took some time to take over because Phobio gave up the command first, but Safia was not suited for command, and she always finished raising everyone's morale before being relieved of her duties. Instead, it is better to slaughter as many enemy generals as possible, in order to make the most of your individual strength. She was aware of this, and she did not hesitate to throw herself into the battle this time, too. However, Zelanis's forces were not so easy to deal with, and they're having a hard time, even though they had an advantage of 2-1. Good. This is how battle should be fought. The excited Beethoop laughed loudly. Beethoop is drunk with his power. He enjoys defeating the weak with his overwhelming power, and for him, fighting is like a game in which victory is guaranteed. In this respect, Gabil and Safia, his opponents this time, were just the right combination of two opponents. One by one, it would not have been enough, and the situation of overturning the numerical disadvantage would have excited Beethoop. Therefore, they were enjoying the battle, even though they could have settled it earlier. Such impure intentions are easily conveyed. Gabil and Safia were desperately trying to find a way to win, and lamenting their lack of ability. We have faced many strong opponents, but you seem to be the strongest of them all. Well, I see. I'm glad to hear that, but I'm not going to take it easy on you. Beethoop's voice sounded really happy. In contrast, Gabil and Safia exclaimed in displeasure. That's a laugh. How can you say that when you haven't been serious until now? Yes, you're right. If you're a warrior, don't torture your enemy like that. Beethoop had no intention of cutting corners, but he certainly wanted to prolong the fun. Gabil and Safia saw it and were offended. However, they are still safe thanks to this, which is more irritating than anything else. It is humiliating to be saved by the pride of the enemy. In exasperation, Gabil takes a recovery potion. Safia, likewise, chugs the expensive full potion without hesitation. Nevertheless, the countless wounds on their bodies show no sign of recovery. The reason is simple: their existence values have exceeded the prescribed amount of the recovery potion. Safia has also evolved under the influence of Carrion's awakening, and her existence value has now been enhanced to just under 500,000. Although not as strong as Gabil, Safia is different from Greater Magin or Holy Knight class human beings, and the potency of the potion is not enough to completely heal a normal person. The principle of full potion is to activate cells by means of Magicule, and even to restore the missing parts, by compensating the missing parts. However, for Magins with high intercellular Magicule density like the Gabils, 1 or 2 restorative medicines are not enough to replenish their cells. That is why they use more than 100 recovery medicines during the battle. If they are slightly injured, even a sprinkling is effective, so they are already drenched in the potion. It's a good thing we improved the taste as well. I think we should refrain from taking the recovery medicine for the time being. I agree. At first I thought the strawberry flavor was good, but now I'm starving. Safia is more dependent on recovery pills than Gabil, and she seems quite fed up with them. However, she is lucky to be alive and well. This is all thanks to the training with Midli. For the past several months, they had been learning the art of close combat against Midli. If it had not been for Battlewill's defensive screen, which they have become proficient at, they would have died without even the use of recovery medicine. But that good fortune was about to come to an end when the atmosphere at Beethip changed. Hey, is Torin dead? Beethip ignored Gabil and the others who were exchanging pleasantries because he noticed that one of his comrades had been shot down by Free. On a stalemated battlefield, it is dangerous for one side to break off. Knowing this, Beethip decided that it was no longer the time to play around. It can't be helped. I wanted to take it easy, but I'm going to play a trick on you, Beethip declared. It was not that they had been playing around, it was just that Gabil and his team were doing better than expected. However, it was an equilibrium that had been established because Beethip had thought about the pace of the game. Like Carrion's strategy, Beethip, who did not want to go all out at this point, played the game in such a way that he could leave some energy left over. But now, with the defeat of his comrades, he has shifted into a mode of destruction without thinking about the consequences. Kill. Beethip vanished with a single muttered word. Using his leg strength, he closed the distance with the instantaneous force of an instant move. He then kicked Safia. Safia, of course, did not follow Beethip with her eyes, but rather with magic perception. She had been improving her skills level, breaking away from the style of fighting only with her own abilities as before. But, however, Beethip's moves were too fast. It was no wonder, because he was attacking with all his might, without regard to the damage to his own body. Gwa. Safia barely protected herself with both arms, but the result was cruel. Her crossed arms were shattered, and she was hit by a powerful kick to the abdomen. Safia dono. Gabil shouted as Beethip stopped moving in the kicking position. Gabil quickly turns his eyes to Safia while preparing himself. Safia is barely alive. Safia dono is in such a state after only one blow. This made Safia's departure from the front inevitable. Gabil thought that it was fortuitous that she was not dead. But he was naive to think so. Gabil is a warrior, and he does not have a taste for unnecessarily hurting his defeated opponents. Moreover, it is against Gabil's aesthetics to deliberately finish a fighter after the victory is assured. Of course, Gabil also understands that there are those who think it is just to kill the enemy on the battlefield. However, he did not think that anyone would make unnecessary pursuit in the face of a strong enemy. In other words, he had assumed that Beethip was also a skilled fighter, and would not take any action that would give Gabil an opening. However, the reality was cruel. Beethip turned his back on Gabil and swung his raised leg towards Safia. Jeef. There was a dull thud, and Safia started to vomit blood. Beethip's foot had broken Safia's heart. In his prolonged thought, Gabil understood exactly what had happened. He was going to die for sure. Foolishly, he would give priority to the Safia, even though it would give us an opening to attack. No, he must have confidence in his ability to endure. This understanding is nothing but humiliation, but perhaps he's not wrong. With the difference in competence between Gabil and Beethip, the probability of that result seemed high. Gabil thinks. His mind is very rough, but his thoughts are calm. Should he continue to play the given move and try to win, or, it is needless to say that I'm in doubt. Rimuru-sama will praise my choice. The decision was made in a moment. It was a gamble whether the plan would really work or not. But Gabil believed in his power without hesitation. I will not let Safia Dono die. Safia Dono will not die. He shouted, throwing his precious vortex spear at Beethip. He ran to Safia just as Beethip avoided it. In this way, Gabil unleashed his power. Gabil is not sure if this power can affect others. But for now, there is no other way to help Safia, but to rely on it. Come back, fate. Hear my wish and work a miracle. Gabil prays. He believed with all his might that Safia would come back to life, and that he could help her with his power. As a result, the ultimate gift Psychology King, Moodmaker can be activated only once a day, and change destiny will change the tragedy to what it should be. And the world is in a state of war. Beethip looks quizzically at Gabil, who is exposed in the middle of the battle but still defenseless. He quickly decides that he must have abandoned the fight when he let go of his spear. Idiot. Beethip scoffed. I'll take care of you and your friends. Beethip showed no mercy to his demoralized opponents. It is Beethip's belief that mercy leads to carelessness. However, since low-level insectors do not have feelings, Beethip is a superior individual for understanding the concept of affection, but it is no comfort for those who are his adversaries. And so, a breeze dances on the battlefield. Beethip unleashes his power once again, and he aims a spindle kick at Gabil. The aluminium covering his foot knife glowed with a dull brilliance, and it seemed that Gabil's fate was at an end. However, that future does not come. For fate had been altered, and Safia had been fully restored. You're in danger, Gabil said. As soon as he was resurrected, Safia took evasive action, following her instincts of danger. As if caught up in the action, Gabil rolled on the spot. Beethip's kick destroyed much of the ground, but Gabil and Safia were able to get out of danger safely. Well, we are saved, said Beethip. That's my line. I thought I was dead, but Gabil-san saved my life. Yes. It was a risky move, but I'm glad it worked. Perhaps feeling relieved to have escaped from the crisis, the two men exchanged a few light words. But Beethoven is alive and well, and the real battle is yet to come. Beethoven broke off the conversation and tried to put all his strength into his body again. But Gabil interrupted him and laughed. That's impossible. I noticed that your power cannot be used continuously, can it? Otherwise, there would be no reason for you to waste time talking with us. Gabil said confidently. Beethoven's speed is faster than Apito's, and the power of his fists and kicks is as heavy as Geld's. They can also accelerate and kick rapidly. Moreover, Beethoven's irregular movements, such as sudden acceleration and then sudden stop, were so exquisite that even Apito could not imitate them. It is very difficult to recognize such anomalies, and it is almost impossible to avoid them. That is why, on the contrary, Gabil wondered about it. Even Apito Dono said that it was easy to accelerate, but difficult to stop suddenly. Hinata Dono used magic to twist the law of inertia to make his mysterious movements possible, but there is no sign of magic in this one. Then, we can think of the following. Either the control of laws by a special power, or the use of force. With these two options in mind, Gabil continued his observation, and noticed that Beethoven was causing his body to undergo ultra-speed regeneration, each time he finished attacking. In other words, Beethoven was demonstrating his ability to fight beyond his limits by using forceful techniques. If this is the case, there is only one way to deal with it. If you keep on attacking with unreasonable force, Beethoven will destroy itself. All Gabil has to do is to concentrate on defense and wait for that moment. However, this is an attack by a superior player beyond the limit. He would be killed instantly by a single blow if he is not careful, and he would be walking on a tightrope that is too dangerous. Beethoven's limit break attack, which cost him his life, is several times faster than Apito's, and can kill Gabil with a single blow, depending on where it hits. A limb is sure to be damaged, and even a scratch is a big deal. Gabil thought it would be difficult to continue to deal with such an attack, which is why he asked Beethoven himself to rethink his tactics. Even without the limit break attack, Beethoven is the better player. Gabil hoped that if he showed that he had been exposed, he might be able to return to his traditional tactics. An awkward silence. This was broken by Beethoven's loud laughter. Gahahaha. That's good, that's good. Really, you never let me get tired of you even though you are so weak. After laughing like that, Beethoven's mood changed again. I admit it. I'll admit it, but I'll take you seriously. The bet failed. What? Gabil thought it was a bad idea. He had made a big show of pretending, and now he could not back out. Gabil had Sufi behind him. Running away was out of the question. Now, they had no choice but to leave it to his luck and do his best to get out of the situation. At least, if I had a vortex spear in my hand. The spear, the lizardman's treasure, had been thrown away a while ago. He wanted to pick it up, but he didn't think Beethoven would allow him to do so. Gabil was determined. At the very moment when he had his full attention. Gabil-sama, you lost something. Sukuru's voice came out and the vortex spear was back in Gabil's hand. You've been fighting with us for a long time, haven't you? Don't let go of it anymore. Sukuru said in a good-humored way. That's right. Kakishin nodded. Yes, yes. Gabil-sama is the best with that, you know. Yoshichi made a reckless request as usual. Even the vortex spear in his hand was shaking as he nodded in return. You guys. Hot tears welled up in Gabil's eyes. What's that? Why is it pulsing like a spear's heartbeat? And then he realized something very important. Gabil-sama, I believe in you. Yes, I do. Gabil-sama, you'll show me something cool, right? Expectations from the three of them are heavy. It was more like a push than a cheer. Yoshichi, in particular, was very serious. He pushed Gabil to the edge without realizing it. Gabil, no longer thinking about the spears, was as usual strong and puffed out his chest. But then, something unusual happened. Sufia cheered him on. And it was. Well, I agree with you. Gabil-san, they are right. You're as good-looking as Karien-sama, in my opinion. This was a bombshell for Gabil. I'm as good-looking as Karien-sama, was the bombshell for Gabil. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it.